Hi everyone, my name is Lauren and I'm with the Capital Region Partnership for Regional Invasive Species Management. We're here today at Moreau Lake State Park learning about play, clean, go, and clean, drain, dry practices for you to implement while you're recreating at the park. Moreau State Park is an invasive species prevention zone, so we want to try to keep all invasive species out so that we can maintain this beautiful park.
Hello, my name is Lauren and I'm with the Capital Region PRISM Boat Steward Program, and we're here checking for aquatic invasive species to make sure that when you bring your boat out, you're not going to spread anything to the next water body that you head into. Do you mind if I take a quick look today?
Sure. I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. What is this program for again? What are we doing? I don't understand.
We're checking for aquatic invasive species. So when a boat launches into a new water body, it could have something like this, Eurasian water milfoil, attached to it. This species very easily fragments and can establish into a new water body just by fragmentation. So we're making sure that plants like this don't go into the next water body that your boat goes into and establish there and cause issues.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by fragmentation? Can you...
So when Eurasian water milfoil fragments, a small piece just like this could start a whole new infestation in another lake. This is a fragmentation of this larger piece of Eurasian water milfoil, and that can cause a whole new issue in a new water body. Ready? So some of the different places you want to look for aquatic invasive species on a kayak like this is you can look at the kayak paddles. They can easily get wrapped around and stick on. If you don't take that off before you head into another water body, that can be introduced into the next water body. You're going to want to look all on the inside of the kayak. As you can see here, maybe our friend Chris might have flipped over and got some fragments of Eurasian water milfoil and some other native plants in here. But you're going to want to take anything out of the inside of the boat and clean it out. Back here we have some standing water. This is probably also from that little flip we had. We have small-bodied organisms like spiny water flea that could be introduced to another water body if it was present here, just by that water being dumped into the next water body. You're also going to want to look on any little areas that stuff can get stuck to. So like these little bolts here could get very easily stuck right under the edge there. You're also going to want to look underneath the boat. You're going to want to lift it up and check the underside. Usually not too much sticks, but you can see there are little fragments that will stick to the bottom. And that's pretty much it for a kayak. At almost all state boat launches, what you're going to do is you're going to collect all of the plant matter that you can.
Okay.
And we actually have disposal stations. So we can head that right up here. Pick anything up that's on the ground that might have fallen off of your kayak, because that could easily wash back into the water if we get a nice big rain. So up here we have a disposal station. And you're just going to toss it in there.
Oh,
and
that's
that
what these
should
things
prevent
are
it
for.
from getting into the water.
Oh, I didn't know what those were for. Oh, that's great. That's a great idea. What else should I do with my boat?
So at this point,
How do I get the water up? What should I do with the water?
at this point we're going to want to flip over the water, or the kayak, to empty out any standing water. Just going to let that water drain out.
Oh, okay, thanks. And that's to get like things I can't see out of the water I could transport to another location?
Correct, like spiny water flea or zebra mussels.
Like the larvae or bloody red shrimp or even tiny fragments. I think we missed something. This little snail.
Yep, so you're going to want to check for organisms like this little snail. That could potentially be aquatic invasive species as well. So you're not just looking for plants, you're also looking for organisms like this.
Yeah, somebody told me that was a Chinese mystery snail and that they're invasive. And so I have seen them before,
Yep.
but not everywhere. I'll put that in the disposal
That
bin.
can go in the disposal bin as well.
Okay, so what else can I do? We still have some fragments in here.
So you're gonna want to dry off anything that's left in the boat at this point. If there's any standing water left, you're gonna want to get that out with the towel. You're also gonna want to dry it off on the inside, and then we recommend that once you're done kayaking for the day, to let your boat sit out in the sun for at least 5 days to completely dry off and eliminate any chance of aquatic invasive species being introduced to the next water body.
Oh, so what else could I do if, like, I'm gonna go up to the North Country tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna go on Blue Mountain Lake. I'm not gonna have time to dry this for 5 days.
So in that situation, you could always disinfect your boat using a bleach and water kind of solution. That should help kill off anything if you're not able to meet that 5-day time period of drying. There's also decontamination stations throughout the Adirondack Park that use high pressure hot water to spray off and clean off any invasive species that might be present on that boat, and that should kill off anything with that high pressure hot water.
Oh, I think I saw one of those right over here at exit 18, just 2 minutes away from the park.
Yep,
You
right
know-
off the Northway.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna go over there and have that deconned.
That's perfect.
All right, thanks. So, and again, what that message is what?
Clean, drain, dry.
Hi, I'm Chris. I see you guys have a boat washing station here. What do you do?
140 degrees and should kill any aquatic invasive species that are on the boat.
All right, great.
Just wondering if you've had the boat out in the last 2 weeks at all?
I did. I had it out this morning.
And what body of water was that?
I was actually at Moreau State Park, right down the road here. I was just out for an hour paddle.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by our station here at the Northway I-87 just before exit 18.
Yeah, it's so quick getting here from the park. It took me a minute when I left the park to come right here.
It's pretty convenient, and we usually don't have too long of a line. And the boat wash should just take a few minutes.
All right, we are over here at Moreau Lake State Park. I'm Nicole, I'm with the Capital Region Prism, and here's one of the places you can find one of the Play, Clean, Go boot brush stations. And they installed this to help reduce the spread of invasives within and outside of the park. So this is really good for before and after a hike or any sort of recreational activity. It's really good to clean off the bottom of your boots and any equipment that you have in. So if you don't have a boot brush station nearby, bringing along with you any sort of stiff bristled brush will help you in cleaning off your equipment and your boots before and after hikes. So sometimes you don't have time after, even in your own yard, you might have invasives, cleaning your stuff off, or you don't think of it before you go to a new place. But it's good even if you just get there in the parking lot to clean off your boots and then go for your hike. So there's a lot of opportunities around here for recreation. There's a lot of trails. They have the lake where you can take your boat out, and they have Play, Clean, Go stations for watercraft as well. And this helps reduce the spread of things that are in seed, or if there's any root fragments such as Phragmites, spreads by the rhizomes. Any little piece of it in your boot or on your clothing, you can take to a new place and it'll reestablish and create a new infestation.
Oh, hey.
How was the
Sorry,
ride?
Sorry, it was great. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Oh, jeez.
Wow, looks like you brought a lot of the forest back with you.
What? I just having good fun.
So do you know about invasive species?
Who?
Non-native species in the parks? in New
No,
York?
can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure, there are species that are not native to New York and have invasive qualities, meaning they have some sort of impact that is either economic, ecological, human health, or agricultural. So, when you go out into the woods, you are often bringing back parts of invasive species with you. And this is a really good example of how it can happen.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Show me.
Sure. Do you mind if I pull
No,
some things
no.
out?
Go ahead. This is kind of neat to me. I really love this park. It's beautiful here. There's so many native plants. But what do I need to do? So I ride here a lot on my bike, but I
Yeah.
go other places.
Okay.
And back and forth a lot.
So
So what should I do? What's the problem?
mountain biking is great. Moreau has this boot brush station for cleaning your boots off to prevent the spread of seeds and other root fragments and plant fragments in your socks and in your shoes. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
So you can use that for your shoes, or if you brought a stiff bristled brush, any sort with you, you could also clean your boots off. You want to give it a shot?
This looks like a normal brush
Lots
you
of-
get for like a horse or something.
Yeah, or your hair.
I guess I
depending
could
on-
use any brush, right?
Yeah, you
my,
could.
my hair? This is my toothbrush?
Well, you see all these plant fragments and potential seeds that could get lodged up in there, and you would just bring them to the next place you go.
Oh yeah, I've always got this stuff on my shoes. They're always like loaded, and I do try to kind of clean them once in a while, but I guess maybe I need to clean them, be a
Yeah.
little bit more diligent.
Definitely. So mountain biking, you can go travel great distances in a very short amount of time. But
Okay.
you see with your boots, the same thing happens in the tires and parts of your bike as well.
Oh, like you mean seeds get caught in this?
Oh yes,
Oh,
definitely.
I had no idea. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So on top of that, you also have parts of plants themselves that get caught in here, and if you're not taking them out, they can fall off in another location and reestablish themselves.
Like this one here with the seeds on it.
Yes.
So if I don't clean my bike, these could actually go to another park or another location, or I could bring them in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So what are some other things I could do with my bike besides just brushing it out? I guess I could take it home and I could wash it.
Yeah, you can use power washers, any sort of hosing off of the bike is good. But the first step, if you do have a brush, is just brushing off any excess mud and dirt that you see, maybe wiping it down if you have a cloth or a rag.
Okay.
And then if you have the time, definitely go home and rinse it off, spray it off any chance you get.
All right, good to know. Good to know. I wasn't aware of that. You know, we ride sometimes in grassy fields and stuff, and you know, I guess I could see how some of the seeds could get in there, or and other things, and I'm usually pretty good. I really like my bike a lot. I like to clean it, but sometimes there's days where I'm just in a hurry and I just kind of park it and I just get on it again. So I guess I could do better. All right, and this is for my shoes too.
Yep.
All right.
And you would want to check your socks and around cloth material around your feet and legs, because a lot
Oh.
of structures on seeds are meant to really catch on to fabric and hair.
I have a burr right here.
There
Looks
you
like
go.
a little tiny seed. Oh, all right. I didn't know that. Thank you. All right, excellent. I'm sorry I rode down the trail a little too fast in the parking area. I will. I'll do better. I didn't mean to, my apologies.
It's fine.
All right, thank
As long
you.
as you're enjoying your time here and doing your part to reduce the spread of invasive species throughout our parks.
Can I keep this?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I see it says Play Clean Go on it.
Yep, the same company that makes the boot brush stations.
Oh, all right. I've seen these. They're kind of here and there. I wish more places had these. There's some like parks that I know where people ride their bikes a lot. I think they could use these signs. That would be great. Maybe somebody could spark their interest to put some signs up to help educate the public. So
Well, part of our work in the Prism is to partner up with these parks and locations to get these sort of things installed and have funding opportunities available for different partners to obtain these things.
oh, that's great. Well, thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening. This reminds me, not only should you clean up after your dog, you should clean your dog off. Seeds are often spread by animal dispersal, so they have structures on them to cling to surfaces such as clothing or fur especially. So when you're done with a hike with your dog, make sure you brush him off, brush his coat off, get any dangling seed pods or pieces of plant off of the fur, and you're good to go.
Hi, we're at Moreau State Park, as you know, for NatureFest. We are showing some of the general public some things that they can do to prevent inductions of invasive species in this beautiful park that is here, that has very low threat, a very low amount of invasive species already to begin with. And with camping season, one of the things that we'd like you to really strongly consider is not to transport firewood from your local home, your local region to the park. And one of the reasons for that is when you're moving firewood from place to place, you can unknowingly be carrying invaders, tiny insects that have their eggs, their pupae that are within the wood, and then you could bring it to the park. And then you pile up your firewood outside your fireplace and you have a beautiful fire and you're enjoying everything, and unknowingly you may not realize the danger. There are a lot of forest insects that will actually lay their eggs. They will chew a hole, they'll deposit an egg inside the bark of the tree, in which that egg will sometimes overwinter. And then as the winter goes out, the spring comes in summer, those eggs will hatch and the pupae will then live inside the wood and they'll eat the wood. And if they're active or present in that wood and you bring it to the park, you're unknowingly going to be transporting these insects. Some things that have recently become a major concern in the Adirondack Park, one, there's the emerald ash borer, and there's a new infestation here that's now in the park. This little tiny exit hole, which is hard to see, and this is not an actual example, but they're that big, the exit hole, when some of the creatures, the insects, actually become an adult and release, and so it's really hard to see them. I have another example here, if I may point it out. Sometimes you can see these exit holes. These are rather large, from an insect that chewed its way out as it became an adult and then was released. So if we flip it over, you can see that some of these insects actually are capable of boring as they're feeding on the actual wood and growing before they become an adult. So by chance, if you have eggs, you have the pupae of some insect in these, you bring it to the park, they can come out of the wood in the fire pile and then they infest our trees. So the best thing to do, buy local firewood. Firewood that's been kiln dried, firewood that's been cut in place. And we really encourage you guys to definitely follow those recommendations. There's another infestation here, a hemlock woolly adelgid. It is possible that it could be moved through hemlock trees from site to site, although not one of the most common causes of its movement. But again, these are serious threats to our park, our beautiful trees and forests that we have here. If you can, do your part, buy local firewood. Burn it where you buy it.
So there's lots of pamphlets on invasive species that might be in the park or threatening the park. So there's don't move firewood, which is important when you're camping, not to move firewood more than a 50-mile radius from where it's sourced. Oak wilt, this is an up-and-coming invasive species that is threatening the park, and particularly the oak trees in the park. A Stop the Invasion aquatic invasive species pamphlet. There are some examples of some invasives that you might find in the park. Another aquatic invasive species of the region that we developed within our PRISM. And then plant-wise, so this is a great one. There are examples of invasive species here, and then some native alternatives that are great to plant when you go back home. So these are some great resources. We also have lots of these resources on our website at capitalregionprism.org. So check that out if you want any more information.